Hey, it's me, Hrishikesh Kannan, popularly known as Hrishi K. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business, and current affairs.
And I went to Pune to a dental college, जहाँ पे 90% लड़कियाँ थी, सिर्फ 10% लड़के. And it was literally the saddest. Like I used to think कि मैं college जाऊँगी तो वहाँ पे ये होगा, वहाँ पे all of this, the college things. क्योंकि हम बचपन से मैं हूँ ना जैसी फिल्में देखते हैं, जहाँ पे college is supposed to be like this, all these Karan Johar films depict college to be something outworldly. And my college experience was very different. All the guys who would not get a girl in real life, they were getting girls because there were so many girls in our college.
Problem of plenty. That's the dream that all guys live with, Ritvik.
What college was it?
He already wants to enroll. Pleased to welcome Gayatrii Bhardwaj and Ritvik Sahore there in Ishq Express that releases on the 23rd. It's on Amazon Mini TV. So basically you can go onto the Amazon shopping app either on iOS as well as Android, and right on the top you see an icon. You click there, it's absolutely free. What's up, you guys? How are you?
We're good, sir. How are you?
Excellent. Ritvik, I have to say I really enjoyed the rest of your series. I spoke to you when I first saw a few episodes, but just fab job, and it's wonderful to talk to you again. And you must be loving the reactions you've got for the series.
Thank you so much, sir. First of all, yeah, I'm elated with the response, and it's been overwhelming.
Lovely. So let's start at an obvious place, Gayatrii. I mean, since the premise is basically train journeys, a memorable train journey that you've had, either in India, abroad, anywhere, and what was so memorable about that in your real life, obviously?
Actually, I've had a lot of great train rides in India as well as abroad. I remember this one train journey with my parents that I took from Paris to, I think it was Amsterdam, and it was beautiful. It was so magical because it was in my entire family, and this is the first time I was visiting Europe. And I was 12 years old, I remember. So I was like this, wide-eyed girl looking around everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in Paris. It was such a big deal for me. It is even now. So, yeah, that was, I think, the most memorable because it was with my mom, dad, my brother, and I. So it was really special. That was actually...
Was it one of those Eurorail things that take you directly from Paris to Amsterdam? Or do you have stops on the way where you could kind of get off and do your thing?
I think we could get off. Yeah, I remember stopping at the stations, and I remember my dad telling me, "Do not leave my hand. Do not go anywhere. Once the train doors shut, this is not India. You cannot stop at the next station and just come on board. So be careful. Don't get lost." So it was, yeah.
How cool!
And the trains are like really on time over there as well. It's not like you get that opportunity of that extra, कि 5-10 minutes late हो गए चलता है. That is not the case over there. It's like on time.
Yeah, when you travel in the West, you realize how lightly people travel. They'll just take one haversack and they get on. But in India, we can never do that.
Yeah, we travel with our entire lives.
वो भी लाके फिर उसको ताला लगाते हैं नीचे.
Yeah, and we'll chain it to the berth. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to take that, Ritvik? Any memorable train ride?
Yeah, sir. I mean, काश मैं भी गायत्री की तरह abroad train में जा पाता. पर मेरी train ride जितनी रही है. But I've also traveled in trains quite a lot. But I remember this one time, I was, I think, in my 5th or 6th grade, and I was going to Amritsar with Mama, and we were traveling, and I met this boy my age in the train, and this was the first time actually I was meeting someone my age in the train, and we had a ball of a time. We played Ludo. We were doing random shit. We were climbing berths, creating a havoc in the train, disturbing people's sleeps. But it was a great time. And unfortunately, I didn't have a phone back then, so I couldn't get his number. Would have loved to stay in touch with him. But yeah, that was one memorable trip that I had. Yeah, we shared cold drinks and all. Thanda cold drink, jo dene aate na. We did all of that. So, yeah.
My memories of the Indian Railways is replete with any station having chai.
Chai. Was it thanda cold drink?
Yeah, thanda cold drink or chai. And they'll click the cold drink and go ting 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 ting. which I think is just so beautifully, uniquely Indian.
Absolutely.
And you know, the chai, now the West is talking about going back to kullards and earthenware because they've realized plastic is so bad.
Yes, we
And
were
you know,
doing.
the three of us can testify that kullad wali chai was always the case in India, right? I mean, it was
Yeah,
always about being non-plastic and, you know, drinking out of ghadas and
Yeah,
drinking out of kullad wali chai, and the railways were like the hub of that stuff, you know.
right.
So yeah, that's awesome. So now that we've got the train journey out of the way, let's talk about relationships. I mean, this happens more with girls than it does with boys, Gayatri, and I'm sure you'll testify to that. That often, you know, you're great friends with somebody, and suddenly there are feelings that develop, but you know, you don't know whether those feelings should just stay as friendship, so you don't
Mm.
want to mess things up and stuff like that. It's an awkward situation to be in. I mean, you don't have to take names and who it's happened with, I'm sure, but you've been there before, and it's quite a uncomfortable phase. It looks exciting when you look back at it now, you know, pehla pyar and this and that, but it's actually uncomfortable when you're going through it.
yeah, true. It's but you know what I love about that situation? I feel like there's so much of I remember feeling butterflies when I was, this feeling of uncertainty, this feeling of आगे क्या होगा ये दोस्त रहेगा कि नहीं अभी इसके साथ क्या होगा I really miss that these feelings when you're younger. I feel like they never come back when you grow older or when you mature after a certain age. I feel like it just becomes you become too mature for your own good. And I really, really enjoy the simplicity that life had back then when you could experience all of this, when you still could. So of course it's uncomfortable, and I feel like nowadays, like if something like that happens to me now, I'm just going to be able to, word it correctly. But I feel like as a kid, you don't know the correct words to speak. You don't know how to express yourself well enough, even though you know what it is, but you don't know how to sort of put words to your feelings.
Mm.
That's really beautifully answered. So Ritvik, I mean, even though you're a movie star now, and there are lots of girls who want to be your friend, I'm sure you've been friend zoned when you
Yeah,
wanted to be in love. I don't
yeah.
know whether it happened early in school or, you know, early in college. Talk about that, and that's quite shattering for a man's ego when he's friend zoned,
Oh,
or
of
if
course.
the bhai syndrome. Like in smaller towns, it's about the Rakhi.
High zone. Oh, that
I
that was
syndrome.
the worst. I don't know. I don't know what thrill girls used to get out of tying rakis to guys in school, but it used to be a thing, and
Yeah.
guys used to run for their lives. कि भाई आज के दिन तो नहीं आना है school. आपकी crush ने आपको राखी बांध दी तो क्या करोगे? So that used to be a thing. But yeah, I mean, I've been friend zoned. I've been tied rakis too, and it used to hurt a lot. But that's move on. But yeah, मतलब वो होता है ना कि जब आपको लगता है किसी के साथ कि maybe there's this connect and you guys are vibing, maybe it's gonna happen. But when you confess, it's just friendship from that other person. So yeah, that hurts. But yeah, part of
And Gayatri, I don't know, you know, in Bombay we have this whole thing about Rose Day. Like colleges will have like a Rose Day. I don't know if in Delhi or wherever you schooled or went to college, you ever had the equivalent of a Rose Day. And if so, how many roses did you get? I don't know.
को तो बहुत
Or
मिले
maybe
होंगे.
Valentine's Day. Huh?
गायत्री को तो बहुत मिले होंगे.
नहीं यार none. I went to Pune to a dental college जहाँ पे 90% लड़कियां थी सिर्फ 10% लड़के. And it was literally the saddest. Like I used to think कि मैं college जाऊंगी तो वहाँ पे ये होगा वहाँ पे all of this the college things क्योंकि हम बचपन से मैं हूं ना जैसी फिल्में देखते हैं जहाँ पे college is supposed to be like this all these Karan Johar films depict college to be something outwardly, and this my college experience was very different. All the guys who would not get a girl in out like in real life, they were getting girls because there were so many girls in our college. I was like, "Bhai,
Problem of
बहुत सुंदर
plenty.
रहे हो तुम."
That's the dream that all guys live with, Ritvik.
कौन सा college था ये गायत्री? What college was it?
He already wants to enroll.
नाम बताने वाला.
So it was नहीं मुझे नहीं मिले इतने roses. So I wish I had gone to college somewhere else. यार, now I regret it.
But listen, this thing about dentists becoming people in the media. This last month, I met Chang, the singer. Chang's a dentist.
Oh,
I met Nikita Gandhi, the singer. She's a dentist. She did a dentistry from Kolkata. Chang did his dentistry from Dhanbad. And I'm going like, what's the deal with dentists trying to get into the media and acting and singing and things like that? So did you do dentistry while you were waiting for the acting stuff to work out, or did you seriously want to be a dentist and then somewhere along the way you changed tracks as far as your career is concerned?
Actually, when I was in my second year, I remember that while getting out of my exam hall, so I left the exam hall in the beginning only. I said, "ये मुझसे हो नहीं रहा है, अब मैं पढ़ के भी नहीं आई हूँ." And this was an internal exam. So I got out. I literally started hyperventilating because I saw everybody doing. It was a practical exam, and I had no idea what to do. So I got up. I picked up my bag without saying a word to my invigilator. I ran for my life. I said, "I'm not." Like I literally had a panic attack.
Wow.
And I ran out, and I remember my teacher meeting me the next day, the same teacher. Now she liked my handwork. She knew that I was good at what I did. But exam situations, like it was something was bothering me. She could tell, and she was a really, really nice teacher. And she came to me and she said, "Beta, mummy papa ne zabardasti bheja hai college. Nahi hai man padne ka." I said, "Ma'am, no, not." She said, "You can be honest with me. If you don't want to be a dentist, it's fine. Everybody, sometimes we come under the pressure of our parents, this thing." So basically that is when I first questioned myself कि हाँ ये तो मैं इसलिए कर रही थी क्योंकि मुझे prove करना था सबको that I am also I can also be smart. I'm not just a pretty face. I'm not just a girl who likes to be to be into co-curricular activities. I genuinely wanted to just prove myself to people that I can be smart too. And just to prove that, I literally took up a course that I didn't want to do for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
So I feel like that was a big realization in my life. And after that, I started working on plan B. Like, what can I do? Like, what is it that I really, really want to do in life? And being on stage was something I enjoyed since I was a kid. I really wanted to just be on stage, perform. I used to sing, I used to dance. And that's why I participated in Miss India in my final year. Like, right when I gave my final year exams, I was like, this is it. I'm done. I just want to, I was like fish out of water. I said, I want to find what I want. I want to find that one thing. What if I make it here? And one step led to another and to another and to another. And yeah,
Cool.
I'm here.
That's quite an interesting real life tale there. You know, Ritvik, Bombay is a vibe, and all of
Yeah.
us who live in Bombay know what the vibe is. But there are so many people who come in from small towns, especially people who come in to be actors and people in the media, because it's the mecca of the media.
Yeah.
Like you find IT guys will go to Bangalore or Hyderabad, but
Hmm.
Bombay is really the place that everybody has to come to if they want a career in the media. And I'm sure you have friends from small towns too. When they come in, they wanted the Bombay vibe. They come here, but they miss their hometown terribly. And they'll always talk about the family there, and they'll talk about the small chai ki tapri where they used to hang, and the places of their childhood and things like that. And really, that's what your character is all about. I mean, he's a small town boy who, I mean, at some level, the city holds a fascination for him. This girl holds a fascination for him. So, talk about that small town vibe and people coming into Bombay and your experience with your friends or your colleagues or your circle. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I also understand that because, when you come from a smaller town, everyone knows everyone. It's like the town is your family, you go out in the evening, people. It's a comfortable space, secure space. And suddenly when you have to come to a new city, as crowded and as big as Mumbai, it is of course jarring to, because life थोड़ी आराम से होती है बाहर बॉम्बे में the pace is quite rushed and तो वो jarring होता है of course. And I mean I can totally understand because I also have friends who live here now because they want to make a career here. So of course, but at the same time, I've gotten so used to this life, the fast-paced life, that for example, even if I go to Goa and I stay there for more than a week, I get bored. I'm like, "Yaar, ho gaya.
It's
It's
the
too
Bombay
slow."
syndrome. Likewise, man.
Yeah, it's too slow, man. I mean, come on, give me the traffic.
Where's the buzz? Where's the buzz?
Yeah. So that, and so all of that. So with Arav also in the story, in the show, it's like that only. He's come from Jamshedpur. He wants to make it here, but something is just not working, and he doesn't like it here. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, उसके पापा का बिजनेस है, सब है, पापा ने बोला दुकान भी डाल के दे दूंगा सब, but उसको था कि चलो ट्राई करते हैं. But now he's realized, this is not my piece of cake. I'll just go back to my hometown, take care of I'll do correspondence or not. I'll do my father's business. And उस ट्रेन जर्नी में उसको मिल जाती है लड़की, and he's at this ripe age of 18, 19, where you don't think, you don't use your brain. It's all feelings and hearts. And so of course, in that one train journey, something happens, and then the story follows what happens. क्या decisions लेता है वो क्या होता है. So which I quite relate to. मतलब वो age में 18, 19 में तो ऐसा होता है कि impulsive होता है कि कुछ भी हो गया तो I'll go there. मतलब ऐसे चल लेते हैं. So yeah.
Right. And Gayatri, let's talk about the small town syndrome in terms of being a woman. I mean, every single female friend of mine who has moved from other parts of India says it's liberating in Bombay to be able to go out at midnight, take an auto or a cab and go wherever you want to. There are places in parts of India, it's unfair of me to say north or south or whatever it is. Let's just say places in parts of India where you can't, it's not safe for a girl to step out post 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and the family worries. Like the parents freak out and the brothers and the sisters are freaking out. And Bombay that way is very empowering. So for a girl who's lived in Delhi, who's lived in Pune, you must miss the open spaces, the wonderful infrastructure. Bombay doesn't have all that much of open space, but what you must love is the liberation of being a working woman and just being able to not worry about basic things like safety. So talk about that, please.
I find there to be a lot of equality between men and women in Mumbai as well. Like it is very, it's यहाँ पे लोग extra courtesy भी नहीं दिखाएंगे कि औरत है तो उसको पहले करने दो. ये भी नहीं है. वो भी, and I don't mind that honestly. I much prefer that over a place जहाँ पे आपको equality कम मिल रही है और disparity ज़्यादा हो रही है. So उससे better ये है जहाँ पे equality भी है, but in all senses. You know, it is not just कि if I'm a woman I will get to, you know. So that is one more thing. And as a person who has lived in Pune also, now Pune is again not the biggest city, and I did my entire college life from there. I used to find a lot of लड़कों ने मुझे ज़्यादा छेड़ा वहाँ पे than they did in Delhi actually, which was very strange. I was not expecting that, but I'm very fortunate actually that I got to come to Bombay. I like it even more than Delhi because Delhi is fast-paced, but Mumbai is even more fast-paced, I feel. Especially for a person, the kind of freedom that I wanted in my life, the kind of liberation that I've always wanted in my life, that's something that this city is giving me. And everywhere I look, especially the people that I surround myself with, are all ambitious and hardworking people. So, you know, that is the kind of people I like to surround myself with, and I've just been fortunate that such people have only been coming my way, be it as my co-actors like Ritvik, and you know, be it the directors and the producers, everybody that I'm coming across with I've just been fortunate to have good people around me. So
that's wonderful. That's a lovely perspective. Let's talk about the crew behind the Ishq Express. Satish Kasi Reddy, the creator of your series, also made Ulje Hue, which is a very interesting thing on Amazon Mini TV, which I saw, which had Sanjana Sanghi in it. He's also assisted Imtiaz, and I believe the directors, at least one of them, has worked with Imtiaz Ali. So tell us a little more about the team, Ritvik.
Yeah, I mean, the creators, I remember having a chat with Tanmay before coming on board for the short film. And what a great guy, man. He gave me the narration on call only. He's like, "Arey bro, don't worry, I'll give it to you right now." He gave me a brief narration on call. And I fell in love with the concept. I met him, and what a great guy. Saurabh George Swami has him and Tanmay, they've written it together. And they both directed the 3 films also. Tanmay has directed the first and the third film, and Saurabh has directed the second film. And there were 2 directors, but it never felt like कि हम 2 अलग ही vision follow कर रहे हैं, 2 अलग ही. They were so in sync with each other. And the best part was, so of course during some shoots जब Tanmay shoot कर रहा है, Saurabh used to come on set, and Saurabh के shoot पे Tanmay used to come on set. But I always used to notice, अगर वो दूसरे के set पे ना, they'll be एकदम silent रहेंगे. Picture उनको कुछ suggestion भी होगा ना तो बोलेंगे नहीं. Then बाद में side में जाके अच्छा bro एक suggestion दूँ क्या? Can we do this? Then they talk about it. So they won't interfere also with each other. It was very sweet. So all of that, and then there was Tawzi, the producer, Tawzi, KV sir. So all of these guys, and a beautiful team of young, very talented and hardworking people that got associated with it. Our DOP, Mr. Amit Roy, one of the finest, and he's a delight to work with.
Yeah, man, he's just shot She season 2 with Imtiaz, and amazing lighting that in the dark. most people just show Bombay in a very different light, and
Yeah.
he's just done such a wonderful
He's
wonderful
too
job.
good, too good. And he's made this film look also so good. It's visually banging. It's too good.
Superb. So, Gayatri, last question to you. There are a rich history of Miss India's doing so well in film dub. It's almost as though it's a natural progression. You do well in the pageant, and suddenly you get onto acting. Have there been inspirations for you who've done that in the past? Because you're pretty much doing the same thing. You did so well in the pageant, and now you're moving on to getting on an acting career.
Yes, absolutely. My biggest inspiration since I was a little girl has been Priyanka Chopra. I've looked up to her not just because she's beautiful or she's a good actor, but anytime I've heard her talk with the kind of passion and enthusiasm and surety that she talks with, if I even am able to, be half a person that she is, I'm going to think I'm successful. Like genuinely, she's really influenced me at from a very young age. And I remember watching her film, hers and Kangana's, where Kangana won the national award for fashion,
Fashion, yeah.
and it was such a game changing film for me, because I think that is when I wanted to be Miss India or a model, because I watched that film. I was 12 or 13 years old, and I remember walking in front of the mirror, posing and enacting, and being this diva that I thought I was, wearing chashma and braces back in school, and nobody saw that. Okay, people, and I somehow in my heart I knew that I can be that, although I didn't look the part at all. But I think it was just this thing inside me कि मैं इनके जैसे बनूंगी. One day I will become them. So yeah, definitely Priyanka Chopra has been my biggest influence when it comes to pageantry as well as acting.
Yeah, PC is the bomb, and we love her in the media. I mean, she's just amazing. Ritvik Sahore and Gayatrii Bhardwaj star in Ishq Express. It starts streaming on the 23rd of June on the Amazon Mini TV app. It's on the Amazon shopping app. You'll find the icon right on the top, and you watch it absolutely free. Thanks, guys. Lots of love. Big love.
Thank you, sir.
Bye,
Thank you
Gayatri.
so
Bye,
much.
Ritvik.
Always a great time.
Cheers.